Coming up on CityView, street patios, how new outdoor seating areas may change the landscape of downtown Austin. Woolridge Square, the downtown park, is being transformed into a destination spot. And payday lenders will tell you what the city is doing to protect residents who need quick access to cash. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Leslie Sopko. Those stories and more, but first our top story. The City of Austin recently joined local and state agencies for an Urban Shield exercise at the Travis County Expo Center. Urban Shield is the largest exercise of its type in the country and includes a series of mock disasters to test emergency preparedness. This exercise included the participation of 1,000 volunteers and multiple public safety agencies. Scenarios included a SWAT situation at the courthouse, an active shooter at a public sporting event, and a chemical explosion at another public event. Channel 6 was there for the mock explosion.
The purpose is basically to help our community's first responders practice what they do, barring a real event, of course. This is a good way to let them practice their skills, learn how to use their equipment, learn how to save people when it comes to a disaster. We've had an explosion. Oh, that was nothing. Here at the Travis County Expo Center, and I've been injured. I've been burned on my face, my arms, my chest. Help us. What this will do will give our emergency responders, particularly those in the EMS field and in the hospitals, an opportunity to see how you would transport victims, of course, as effectively as possible, get them to the help they need. And again, it's just a wonderful way for our first responders to practice what they do. It's not just the first responders, it's the whole community of Austin that will benefit from this. So yeah, it's exciting and kind of a fun thing to do. Help us! Help us! He's sitting at home watching television all day, that's for sure.
This is the best time for us to learn how to deal with those stressors when we have events like this. So this is the training that you get out of this, and the lessons learned out of this are going to be tremendous for later on in a real catastrophic event.
To learn more about Urban Shield or the work of the Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management, visit the link on your screen. The City of Austin is doing what it can to protect residents who require quick access to cash through payday lenders and auto title lenders. In 2011, the Austin City Council passed an ordinance which requires these businesses to register with the City of Austin and follow certain loan restrictions. The goal is to help ensure fair interest rates and ultimately help reduce the number of people who default on their loans. Here's more on how the ordinance works.
The Austin City Council passed the Credit Access Business Ordinance in 2012. The purpose of the ordinance is to protect the welfare of our residents by monitoring credit access businesses in an effort to reduce abusive and predatory lending practices.
Well, when my daughter passed away, I had to borrow to bury her. I started paying them back. Then my husband passed, so the whole world, my world, turned upside down. In interest, I paid over $6,000, borrowed only $3,000, but I never would have finished paying, and that's what they count on. That was a hard lesson to learn.
Credit access businesses are most commonly known as payday lenders and auto title lenders. The City of Austin's Telecommunications and Regulatory Affairs, or TARA, oversees the Credit Access Business Program. TARA is working with state-licensed Austin businesses to obtain the appropriate registration to operate within the City of Austin.
A lot of the money of some of these people is going directly to payday lenders to service these loans, which they can't get out of. This is a real barrier for people being able to get and keep affordable housing, to be able to keep groceries on the table, to be able to pay their hospital bills, to be able to keep their family healthy. It's in all of our interests to help people get out from under the cycle of debt so that all of our families are able to take care of themselves.
The ordinance requires that these lenders follow certain guidelines. They must register with the City of Austin, obtain a certificate of registration to conduct business, and display that registration in a public place. These lenders must provide referral information to nonprofit agencies that may assist borrowers with financial education and training programs, and agencies with cash assistance programs. Additionally, the ordinance states that these businesses must comply with certain loan restrictions. Cash advances, or unsecured loans, cannot exceed 20% of the borrower's gross monthly income. A motor vehicle title loan cannot exceed 3% of the borrower's gross annual income or 70% of the retail value of the vehicle, whichever is less. Loans cannot be refinanced or renewed more than 3 times.
If you're stuck in a payday loan that you can't pay off, what this is going to do is help you pay it off in installments rather than all at once. That's the usual problem people have, is they don't have that kind of money in their pockets all at once. But if you got a fourth of it in your pocket, you can pay it off in pieces and retire the loan over 4 weeks or 4 months or however long it takes to get rid of the loan, get out of the cycle, and never have to worry about it again.
The city is working with more than 100 Austin businesses on their credit access business registrations. For more information, visit austintexas.gov/creditaccessbusiness or call 974-2999. One of Austin's 4 original downtown parks, Woolridge Square, is receiving $225,000 worth of landscaping improvements. This is made possible thanks to the City of Austin Parks and Recreation Department and the Friends of Wooldridge Square. The park, which is located on Guadalupe Street between 9th and 10th Streets, will feature new benches, litter receptacles, and additional lighting when it reopens to the public in spring 2013. Here's a look at the work in progress.
Well, we got some volunteers out here today taking care of Wooldridge Park. This park is a real community treasure, and it's great to see community volunteers stepping up to help the city take kind of care of the park that it really needs to have.
The project has been a renovation of the landscape overall in the park. So today we're providing the finishing touches on the planting of 11 trees that occurred yesterday. You know, we have a mature forest, remaining large trees here in the park. We've lost a number of trees over the past few years due to drought. Well, this is one of the original 4 downtown squares based upon the Waller plan, the 1839, the original plan for the city of Austin. You know, oddly enough, it was a landfill. It was a garbage dump for 50 or 60 years in the early days of the city. Not until 1909, 1910, 1911 did Mayor Wooldridge at that time commit the city to removing the garbage and creating a park. And so the park, as you see it today, is not fundamentally different than the original park. It's always had this topography, this bowl shape. The gazebo here was built in 1911. Kind of the long-term thinking here is that there will be another phase yet of renovation work, probably to include the gazebo here as a part of a broader plan that we'll be working toward over the coming years. This park has been used historically as a place for political speeches and events and symphony in the park and Friday night concerts and those sorts of things. And so we really want to reinvigorate the park and kind of bring it back to those sorts of uses. Republic Square, Brush Square, and Wooldridge Square here, the Parks Department is looking very actively and proactively toward their future and how do we preserve and enhance the parks to respond not just to the uses today, but to anticipate 10, 15, 20 years out from now. What will the neighborhood be like? How many residents will be here and what sorts of uses will they be looking for?
Funding for additional improvements was recently approved by voters under the 2012 Proposition 14 Parks Bond Program. New ideas will be explored during a parks master planning effort scheduled to begin in fall 2013. Renovations are already being considered for the historic gazebo. Other ideas include adding an activity area for families and even a food and beverage vending kiosk with cafe-style seating. Speaking of cafe-style seating, the Austin City Council is exploring the installation of street patio seating in downtown Austin. To provide availability, parking spaces are converted into cafe seating areas as a way to improve the streetscape and encourage more people instead of cars. The first street patio in Austin was installed in front of Royal Blue Grocery at 609 Congress Avenue. Channel 6 spoke with Councilmember Chris Riley about this new pilot project.
Right here, the crew is working on converting some of this parking space that used to be here into a seating area for people to come and sit and enjoy the street while they have a meal or a cup of coffee from Royal Blue here. You know, for a long time, there's been a lot of interest in bringing more life back to Congress Avenue. It's the main street of Texas. It's a great place to enjoy the streetscape and enjoy the crowds coming through to support the businesses that are around here. But it really hasn't been that great a place to sit and hang out and enjoy the scene and enjoy the products you buy in the local businesses. And so the idea here is we could create a more appealing environment. This is really an initiative that was undertaken by the owners of Royal Blue, who raised the possibility that we could create a more inviting place out here for folks to sit and enjoy the street and sure, buy a meal or a drink from Royal Blue and enjoy it right here out in front of the store in places that have been used as parking spaces in the past. So it was a partnership in the sense that the city needed to release those parking spaces and to experiment with making them available for seating instead of just parking for cars. We haven't really done this in Austin before. This is really a pilot that we're trying for the first time. We want to see how it goes here and see how successful it is. Do people embrace it? Are people going to enjoy sitting out here on the street? If it works here, sure, there are other places that have expressed an interest in doing something similar. And in general, there's a lot more interest these days in experiencing the outdoors as a pedestrian instead of just parking your car everywhere you go.
And that's all for this edition of City View. I'm your host, Leslie Sopko. Our next episode premieres Friday, January 11th. Have a happy holiday season, and we'll leave you with some sights and sounds of Austin's Trail of Lights. Thanks for watching.
Ding dong, ding dong, that is their song with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from